The year 2022 for professional wrestling has been one full of ups, downs, scandals and swerves. It's been one full of newsworthy moments, but amongst all the headlines we have lost some titans of the industry. So here are 10 wrestlers you might not know but have passed away. Number 10. Rocky King. Rocky King tweeted on May 5th of 2015 two words: helping people. And these two words were a constant theme throughout the life and career of Rocky. Rocky King began working for Jim Crockett Promotions in the 1980s, doing particularly great work in Florida for the NWA. King started out as a jobber, and through hard work and his good reputation backstage, he slowly started racking in some wins. Rocky's highest acclaim was working as the Freebirds manager, although it was short-lived. He was also a referee in WCW. Everyone described Rocky as having an infectious personality, and was well liked by everybody backstage. After his in-ring career had finished, King started his own family-orientated wrestling company called the WWA, which donated most of the proceeds to charities. Rocky was a one-of-a-kind person, and his presence is clearly missed. Number 9. Sara Lee. It was revealed by Sara Lee's mother early this year that the former Tough Enough competitor had passed away at the young age of 30. Sara appeared on the 2015 reboot of Tough Enough, where she caught the fans' hearts and eventually went on to win the competition and proved to be an inspiration to all. She was released from her earned WWE contract in 2017 but married former WWE superstar Wesley Blake, and she leaves behind 3 children who must be all devastated by this loss. Number 8. Tim White. Tim White had an interesting start to his career. He started off as a handler for Andre the Giant, meaning he would make sure Andre would make all his appearances and sort out travel for the ginormous superstar. He would then jump in the ring and become one of the most legendary WWE referees of all time. Tim White refereed some of the biggest matches in WWE history, most notably The Undertaker vs. Mankind in the Hell in a Cell. While we appreciate Undertaker and Mankind for creating one of the most memorable moments ever, White played just as big a role in making that match happen. Tim passed away at the age of 68 and leaves a lasting, strong legacy behind. Number 7. Gene LeBell. While many don't know him, LeBell had a profound impact on the professional wrestling business. LeBell was never a main event guy. In fact, he was an MMA crossover, with LeBell having both a successful Hollywood and MMA career. However, Gene eventually decided to combine both these passions and give wrestling a try. LeBell was described as being a soft guy in the ring with not a crazy amount of talent, but what he did have was real MMA experience, and this experience led to innovation, and LeBell created a deep plethora of moves, the likes of which are still used in professional wrestling to this day. For example, Bryan Danielson's finishing move, the LeBell Lock. LeBell's wrestling highlight was winning the NWA Championship very briefly as a part of a storyline with Pat O'Connor in 1960 in the Texas territory. LeBell's profound impact on the wrestling business will not be forgotten, and we are still reminded of it in wrestling every week. Number 6. Ricky Hunter. The gladiator Ricky Hunter passed away this year at the age of 85. Ricky worked for the WWF as an enhancement talent in the latter part of his career, but he had great international experience and an impressive career before the WWF. He held numerous titles, including the Florida Heavyweight title twice as the Gladiator, the Florida Tag titles as the Gladiator with Lester Welch, and the Georgia Tag title as north of the border. He was Canadian Tag Team Champion in Vancouver with Guy Mitchell. He also held the Atlas Junior Heavyweight title in 1958 and the All-Star Tag bouts with George Eakin in 1961. He was also in a film, Moonrunners, from 1974. Number 5. Dave Hebner. Whilst Tim White was one of the greatest referees of all time, Dave Hebner gave him a run for his money. Dave Hebner was involved in one of the most viewed angles in all of wrestling history, where he swerved Hogan in his match with Andre the Giant, allowing Andre to pick up the win. Hebner had to retire from in-ring refereeing due to multiple knee issues, but he continued to work backstage for WWE as a road agent up until his release from the company in 2005. May you rest in peace. Number 4. Antonio Inoki. Antonio Inoki passed away early this year at the age of 79, but his fame legacy lives on. Inoki is the founder of MMA. His mixed rules fight with Muhammad Ali led to the eventual birth of the sport, and he is also the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Inoki fell in love with pro wrestling at a very young age, and he would compete for the JWA from 1960 to 1972 before leaving to pursue other endeavors. Inoki leaves behind a famous history, and even WWE acknowledged his presence within the industry. Number 3. Candy Devine. Candy Devine was a 4-time AWA Women's World Champion, 1984, 1986 and 1989, and held titles in Chicago for Windy City and Puerto Rico and various other locals for the years. She was a popular women's wrestler when it was extremely hard to be booked, and she lived until the age of 64 and wrestled as late as 2005. Number 2. Jose Rivera. Jose was an icon of Puerto Rico wrestling and wrestled for WWF from 1982 to 1991 as the Conquistador. Jose was used as an enhancement talent and got to work with the likes of Bob Orton, Jim Duggan and Davey Boy Smith. He found relative success in the WWE, teaming with Jose Estra, and even got a big win over a highly pushed tag team at the time, the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. He died at the young age of 62. And number 1, Scott Hall. Scott Hall was a legend in the hearts of many. He was the bad guy in the NWO, but he'll always be cherished by us. Hall popularized in one of the greatest ladder matches of all time with Shawn Michaels. He would then go on to revolutionize pro wrestling as we know it, when he came in as an outsider at WCW Bash at the Beach in 1996. Hall briefly returned to WWE in 2002 and retired fully from in-ring competition in 2010. Scott Hall battled demons over the course of his life, but was in a better place before his passing. No words could describe the loss of this legend, but I think Scott summed it up best himself here.
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Why don't you check out this one? I think you'll really like it.